Hello. 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 What is today? The 12th? The 13th? 13th. Oh my god. All my ammo is showing up on the 16th. Okay. Bathrobe and what Rolex? I have a Rolex. Dude, Rolexes are so low class. Jesus. All right. Um yeah. Let's get I don't have the right. Let's close Steam first of all. We don't need that. Let's run this. Some of us were born Jedis, man. Okay, so hold on. We don't actually. Let me just see. So I was trying to work on a shader today a little bit, and you'll see the level. Here's the level that I was working on. This level does not have final art. In fact, it really does not have a lot going on. Okay, let's put it that way. Now, I will show you what happens when I go and I try to edit something. So there's this thing called the Mirage, which is the sparkly thing when you let me go to the main level here, not even the editor. It's a sparkly thing to show where an object's supposed to be. There's actually supposed to be one here, but I broke it somehow. But I think it was like already broken, and I just broke it. But when I go to edit that shader, let's just say, okay, I'm gonna put a carriage return on the end. Save. We're compiling all these shaders. Now the shader compiler is slow as fuck, but that's NVIDIA's fault. We can't do anything about that. Um, and then why are we compiling all these shaders? Look, we're compiling Ocean C, and then I believe Ocean D later on. Wait, I don't see. Oh yeah, Ocean D here. Ocean D is 2.5 seconds. Ocean C is 0.8 seconds. There's no oceans on here. All right. So here's what we're gonna do though. We're gonna have a Weissman score. All right, ready? Clock's going. In your tree walker interpreter. I don't. Oh, you mean like a programming language that runs by walking the tree? I mean, that's. You're going to have problems with that, unfortunately. Okay. Problem is, I didn't know when to stop the timer. So I got 29.97, but that's too long. We want to stop the timer as soon as we see entity outline loaded. All right. Ready? Save. But it's literally like 30 seconds approximately. Wait. There's an entity outline. It's a different entity outline. Oh, there was basic after that, but it's about 27 seconds. I don't know. You know, I'll add this to what's on the clock. So 26.77 plus 0.831, 27.6. Okay. I don't. Can I put background color? Yeah. Yeah, background color. Oh yeah, let's just do that. Okay. We have to beat our Weissman score of 27.6. Now, the question is, why the fuck are we loading these? Okay, it might be different reasons why we're loading different ones. So I'm going to look for who prints this message. Okay, shader whatever loaded. So I just want to see. Okay, why the fuck, first of all, is there all this pasty code? I guess it's not the same. Anyway. Okay. So here, it's probably this one, right? So why the fuck is it K? What the fuck is V and K? Oh, it's value. It's value and key, I guess, because it's a hash table probably. All right. I'm going to close this one. Probably won't need to compile the compiler today. Okay. No, we don't want the breakpoint there. We want it there. See, we didn't load it there, which is funny, or I messed something up, but let's do this. Oh, it's got the string. It's got the string. Fucking, I need to turn off that stupid fucking Visual Studio Console window, but then every time I turn it off, I end up wanting it. I don't know, man. Like, why can't I just get this in one of these tabs down here? Like, what is the problem? Okay, I apparently don't know what the fuck is going on. Key. Oh. This is the entire file name. Well, let's just... I mean, why are we reloading volumetric fog utils? So what's going on is we're adding stuff to short names to reload. Okay. The problem is we're probably putting every, so, you know, this file is loaded by probably a number of shaders, right? And so we do the dependency graph, but we don't need to reload all this shit. We just need to mark it as dirty. Okay. Right? Shader name ID shader file options. Why the fuck? Okay, this is where I start to get angry because, I mean, whoever made this decision probably no longer is at the company and hasn't been for a while. But like when I wrote the original fucking shader system, you flag them as dirty and you only load them when you need them. Right? But now it doesn't look like that capability is there anymore because somebody decided I was an idiot, apparently. Ocean D lowercase, maybe. Oh, yeah, you're right. Doesn't matter. It's, I think we know what's going on. Why is there so much data under key? Because it's just the full path relative to the data folder. That's not that big of a deal. That is a string, yeah. Is there any chance I'd say why I think Portal is... I don't think Portal is a bad puzzle game. I think it's a mostly good puzzle game that falls apart at the end. Why are you making things up? It's Portal 2 that's a bad puzzle game. Why Portal 2? Because it's bad. Play it. Okay. But Portal 1's good. Portal 1 deserves its reputation. You're a Wheatley enjoyer? Is that what you're saying? You're a Wheatley enjoyer? All right, this makes me sad. Because I was hoping that this was going to be a small bug. Now I'm like, what the actual fuck is happening? I thought all our assets have a dirty flag. Maybe they don't. Now I'm really mad. It's like you do stuff and then people just delete the thing you did. I mean, they did a lot instead. But like, fucking. All right. So the question is, do I want to try to fix this tonight? I mean, we could reduce our Weissman score either by fixing this or by also managing dependencies. Like, why the fuck is Mirage being loaded for ocean shaders? Like, that doesn't make any sense either. Probably, though, because it's being loaded by the PBR. Okay. And the problem is we can't put the include in an if. Probably. Maybe we can. Can we do that? All right, well, I've got my breakpoint here. Let's put a no check in on that. What file was that? Shader catalog. So, see, here's like, oh, there's a function that's being used. That fucking just bad programming languages, dude. All right, we're not going to do this for now. Didn't seem to help that much. Like, I think we scanned for include regardless of if or something. I don't know how it works. Time for a rewrite? No. But I may have to add some fucking sanity to this situation. Yeah, just so here's the thing, guys. I value iteration. Like 30 seconds to make a shader change is insane. And I would not tolerate that, right? And I tell people that this is important and we should not tolerate things like this. But like, then people go and do stuff that where this is the aggregate behavior. And I want to be clear, this was not done by anyone who's at the company now. This was done a while ago. But it's like, it's almost like active disrespect of me, right? Because I'm like, these things are so important. And then somebody doesn't give a shit, right? That's all water under the bridge now. But, you know, I try to set direction for company technical culture in what I think is a fruitful direction. People don't like that. They can go somewhere else. And they did. End of story. Okay. This is just. Okay, so the problem is I have to add a dirty flag back to this. I mean, we have like a dirty flag on textures, right? But is that. Let's look at. We have editor's note that texture is dirty. I don't know that. I don't know that that's relevant. Hey, look, it doesn't do anything. Okay. Okay, so take that out. Take it out. So load texture asset. So we have load asset, but shader is maybe not. Where is this defined? I mean, I guess with textures, with textures, we load them uncompressed and then we compress in the background, which is also another thing that I put in at one time because I was so aggravated by it. Shaders, it's much harder to do that because you can't get. You would maybe have to use a generic shader, but even that's not good because then the code doesn't necessarily know what data to give to the generic shader because reasons. Used by material shader. So what? what is this supposed to do? Lazy parse. Like, why are we reloading these shaders anyway? Why? Okay, so maybe parse data valid. I think we could do that. Let's see. I hope we could do that. Maybe not. Let's just look it up. Get shader. So find or create. Find or create. We could just remove this shit from the hash table. Okay, anyway, so what we found back here was you know, when I go back here. Oops, that was the wrong one, but that's fine. So maybe this is reloading the text. Proc perform reload or creation is perform reload or creation. Why is that? Where is it? Oh, it's the basic one. Right. Creatine. Reload or creatine. Okay. Okay, so this does reload asset. We read the file. So this just loads the file text. Okay. You know what? All right, let's just go to real editor here. Oh, this, wait. This is the generic one. We can't, that comment doesn't make sense. Okay. I just want to remove this from the hash table. Like fucking seriously. Um, if hot loading shader.valid is false or loaded, apparently there's a loaded. Unload shader. Loaded is not a member of shader. Then how are we calling find or create? Let's just try that. Probably won't work. Super didn't work. So this is, there's such a thing as like intelligibility of the system, right? And this is not very intelligible. Because like we're not hot loading at startup. Okay, did I change something else? Why am I not getting the right source code? Starring Repo Man. Did you guys ever see source code starring Repo Man? Oh, this is a macro. See, the problem with fucking Visual Studio is I can't tell what variable this is. Like, it's somewhere down in this tree of stuff. Yeah, it was pretty weird how source code didn't have any source code in it. Not only did it not have any source code in it, but nothing about the movie in any way had anything to do with source code whatsoever. Guys, on the one hand, I'm very angry and I want to clean all this shit up. And on the other hand, I'm tired and I kind of can't be bothered. So this is like one of these branches in the quantum realm where things can go either way. The future could go either way. I'm so mad right now. This is so fucking unintelligible. And it shouldn't be. It's so simple, but somehow it's so goddamn hard to understand at the same time. Why? It's like a work of art to make things this hard to understand. Whilst, like, who's getting fired now? Everybody responsible for this is already gone from the company, so nobody's getting fired. All right. So, okay, why the fuck did my breakpoint not work if that... All right, so let's do that just to make sure. It might be that it's a macro call that's confusing it. Wait, well, fucking... Just so many failures are compounding right now. Line 207. All right. Like when your keyboard isn't even working right. Okay. So unload shader is a macro, and we probably should emit a no-op at the macro call site, right? Unload shader impl. What the fuck is a shader impl? Okay, hold on. You know, the line must be drawn here. Unload shader impl. Is this the only... I see. Okay, so that's like a back-end function. All right. So this actually has reason to exist. So although not really, I don't know. So the shader binding mapper, I have no idea where the fuck that is. Okay. Shader binding mapper. is on render DX12 shader DX12 shader binding mapper. That's on shader platform. Okay. Shader platform. Okay, where's shader platform? Platform specific. Okay, there we go. So it's on parse data dot platform specific. Parse data. Platform specific. Shader binding mapper, okay. Constant buffer mapper. I mean, why did that crash? By the way, why the fuck is unload shader a macro? What? It's not like something that you need to happen fast. And if you did, you would inline it anyway. So why is that happening? Okay, so unload shader impl is crashing for some reason in here. B is, that's weird because I thought shader, parse data, platform specific, shader binding mapper. Okay. So let's take the address of this. 7D9F0240. Okay. What is B? 180. Why? Because there's more than one. Right? Is there? No, because then, I mean, that would be ambiguous, I think. Rehired, then fired. Sometimes I feel like it, dude. We're just going to do this. Who played the arcade game Mappy? Remember Mappy? Mapper. 180. What is going on? Oh. See. Okay. See, for some fucking reason that I don't understand, We have this pointer. Oh, right. Okay. No, I do understand this because this is a change that we made. This was a pattern that I suggested, actually. So I actually understand. I would like a bigger comment here, but I understand what this is. This is actually kind of cool. We just need to comment it better. Okay, so the parse data memory is here, but the using, see, I was being kind of sloppy when I looked at this. The using is on this, not on this. And this is null. So we're calling unload on these things that are using. And where is it actually? It's on platform specific. I'm just going to go. It's already unloaded. All right. Now I still don't know why. Why are we? Such a fucking dude. I hate everything about this code. All right. Why are we hot loading? We are not hot loading. Like let's address this. Why is hot loading true? Because we just set it to true. So like I have no way to actually know if we're hot loading. Because we just fucking call this with true. So I could add a variable called are we really fucking actually hot loading? And use that. Okay, where are we crashing? Can I just, by the way, while we're talking about failures stacking up on failures, can I talk about how stupid it is that this box still in the year 2023 says abort, retry, and ignore when retry just means break in your... Do you guys know why that box says that? Who in chat knows why that says abort, retry, ignore? Raise your hand. MS-DOS, that is the correct answer. It's from DOS, and I guess for some reason when somebody put a dialog box into Visual Studio, they were like, well, people are familiar with DOS, So we'll make it the same options, even though retry doesn't mean that here. And that decision, that's been true in every version of Visual Studio that I've ever used, as far as I can remember. And I started using Visual Studio in 1996. This has been this way for at least 27 fucking years, and nobody cares enough to change it. That's how stupid things are. What was retry helpful for? This action, abort, retry, ignore, comes from reading a floppy disk in MS-DOS. And, you know, if something goes wrong or the disk isn't in the drive, or you accidentally open the drive while the disk is in, it'll say read error, abort, retry, or ignore. And retry, you're like, oh, the floppy isn't in, so you push the floppy in. And then you say retry, and it actually retries the read. Nothing to do with what happens when you push retry in Visual Studio. Absolutely unrelated. It's embarrassing. What do I think about the work Sean is doing on the Circle CPP compile? I have no idea what he's doing. Literally no idea. It's one of the default message box types in the Win32 API, so they just use it when they need 3 buttons. Yeah, basically. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. 27 years of stupid. How many times have I clicked that damn retry button too? It's so stupid. All right. Get shader. Okay, but right. So this is always going to fail because we're saying, hey, we're hot loading, but we're not hot loading. Okay. So the problem is right now, this is not quite structured to do what I want to do. Now, if I had written all the code that's here now, it would be like my understanding in my brain would be primed, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal to make the necessary changes. All I want to do is just, when we're actually hot loading, just unload the frickin' shaders. Like, that should be the actual correct thing to do. So we're just going to find a different place to do this. Did I mention this makes me angry? Do you know how many millions of dollars I've paid for this game engine? And it has this shader code in it. Okay. All right. The people on the team now have done some stuff to clean it up too. Like, it was worse. Don't worry about that. And it's way better than anything you're going to see in Unity. So don't worry about that. But Unity's a different case. handling a much different use case. It's still very hard to understand. Okay, so if nothing, we're going to try and reduce our Weissman score still before I get too tired and have to go to bed. If we don't improve our Weissman score, we want to leave the code a little better than we found it. Because if something's unintelligible and confusing and hard to deal with, all you have to do is like 500 times leave it a little better than you found it, and eventually it's good. At least I didn't pay trillions of dollars to have an abort, retry, ignore in my program still. Yeah. Okay. Ocean D. This is not what we want anyway. We want the actual hot loading. This is startup. Even though hot loading is equal to true, we are not hot loading. Now we are hot loading. I look very worn out. Well, fuck off. No break on Ocean D. Dang it. Why am I still not getting it? Well, anyway, we don't need that. We can just do this. So when we do after perform reloads, see the is component thing makes it more like I don't know what that even means. Like why do we have a variation that could be a component or could be a shader? And why, if it's shader or component, why is that a shader? Anyway, we don't. I think I just call unload shader here. And if that doesn't work, maybe we have to just make it work. Because you, like, if you have a function that says unload something, you need to be able to call that reasonably and unload the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't do that, why do you have the function? Just somehow, sometime. I mean, it's the mystery of all programming, but things get made so much more complicated than they need to be sometimes. And like literally every program ever made could be simpler than it is. And if you like many vastly simpler, and if you compounded all that, be pretty amazing. Okay, so let's just try changing this. Okay. Material shader color. Okay, so this is like, yeah, it's unloaded. Um, I might have to discuss this with the team about what. So the reason it's crashing is actually, this is a thing that we decided to do. We have this indirection pointer because it's a way of catching cases like this one that I just caused, where we unload a shader and then we try to use it, for example. Um, because previously the code was littered with like shader loading stuff. And I think we were trying to factor that out. But maybe that just leaves me with this conundrum. Like I think we were having problems where we would have code like this, you know, like, hey, let's have some logic that looks at what the shader is, and like we weren't checking if the shader was dirty or unloaded, so we were using variables that were not meaningful. And that's a very silent mistake to make, right? So we added this indirection pointer, and we're like, okay, if it's unloaded, you just crash. And so that is reminding me that you're kind of not allowed to have unloaded shaders anymore. Um, which I kind of don't like that. But let's see what else we can figure out how to do given that constraint. Okay, so we can't really do this. Which is, you know, I mean, in some sense, it's totally fine because you shouldn't really ever want to unload shaders in a final shipping game, really. I mean, there's weird cases in which you would do that, but it might be like you're unloading all shaders and reloading them, right? It'd be a very drastic thing to do. So this is really just like a development thing. And it's like, how much is our code helping us do the development thing that we want to do? And the answer is it's making it very difficult. Um, I don't know why we can't set lazy parse either. Are there any company teams I know of that seem aligned with the engineering principles I try to promote? No. To be honest, no. I know of zero. It used to be that there was Rad Game Tools. Now Rad Game Tools is owned by Epic, and Epic is a very large company with a lot going on now. I mean, compared to my company, it's a very large company. Compared to, like, I don't know, Google, it's not a large company. Are there any orgs engineering things in a way I like? Not that I know of. I mean, beyond a certain size, no. You'll be happy to know that Twitch says I have 0 viewers and 0:00:00 session time. It's pretty awesome. Have you seen the last Indiana Jones flick? Ha. Ha, no. Ha, no. Oh, yeah, id Software was definitely good in the Carmack era, for sure. But that was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. All right, well, I'm going to have a discussion with the team about what we think makes sense. Like, is there something we can do here? Because honestly, this is ass, right? Like, almost all of these shaders being loaded, we don't actually need. And it really interferes with development. Now, a lot of these are really fast, and then a couple are slow. So I guess there's a question like, why are the slow ones slow? Like, I don't think they're like 100 times long. Okay, so I'm going to go into high security mode and type in my file. Why does Guy take 100x longer to load than some other stuff? Is there any way to avoid reloading a ton of things? Okay, let's investigate. Let's investigate some other questions that I have. All right, I reset and got my thing. Okay. Now, it seems to me that there's other things that are super confusing. Okay, actually, in the email, we're also going to say, why is hot loading turned on all the time? Okay, that's an improvement we can make to the understandability of the code. Okay, let me show you something else. This was the file I was working on today. Okay, it only gets loaded by Pabst Blue Ribbon if, well, it gets included, but it only gets used down here if material wants Mirage, which I think means that the Mirage bit is turned on, which only should happen in a small number of cases. Okay? But watch this. Let's run the game. It's going to take 30 seconds to see this because reasons. God, it takes so fucking long. All right. So, like I said, the mirage is an effect that only happens a small amount of the time. All right. Now, I could say emissive color equals VEC3 100, 100, 100 for any. Fuck you. Did I break? Did I not fix hot loading? Guys, some days. Yeah, I think I broke it. Hold on. Hold on. Anyway, we'll leave that for next time we load. Where even were we? I don't know if that was enabled or disabled. We're just going to hope this fixes it. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I've lived through many cases of bad code in the past. And, you know, it's always improvable. You just hit it a bunch and it gets better. It just requires really willpower and an idea of how to make it better. And sometimes your idea of how to make it better may be wrong, but you keep trying and then eventually you make it better. All right. So see how like my character is glowing and I mean probably the map as well. I'm opening the editor right now. Like look at all these things that are glowing. We could make them glow like blue or something, right? Look at all this shit. It's actually, so it's not actually everything, but it's like a significant. It was weird though, because I thought I was seeing it on this as well. Zach was never big on like coloring the level geometry. So like why is Once Mirage set for these? Are we always drawing them with Mirage Shader? That's not good if that's what's happening. Let's look in the code and see if it seems intentional. Once Mirage. Okay. So in Material Mirage, we define this. Basic, blended 2, blended 3, crystal, emissive for some reason. Foliage. That. Gem guy, metal. Okay. So we're just turning this on all the time. Which I don't feel like is very helpful. I don't think this should be a static if. I think it should be a runtime branch probably. Although maybe not. Maybe it doesn't matter. Okay. Honestly, these should also be in the opposite order. And we should put some space here so it's readable. Readable. Go readable. God. Floor tile, 800 milliseconds. Bro. Why aren't we making what we want? Lack of funding or lack of will? It's mostly lack of will combined with the fact that it is a little bit difficult. Right? Like programming is hard, right? So you get places like Handmade Network, which is full of people who get enthusiastic about the idea of making higher quality software. But, you know, there's sort of a power law thing in sites like that, like anywhere. Like a lot of people are enthusiastic. A lot of those people just never get that good at programming. And so fewer people actually do projects. Fewer people than that actually do good projects. Fewer people than that actually get pretty far in their good projects and have good engineering and so on, right? And I don't know, like that's just how it is. Why did it load guys several times? Because that's with different options. See, the hex number after it is different. Okay. Um, I just want space here. Okay. Hey, look, we're still loading all these shaders because of the space I put in. Awesome. Um, Okay. So all these materials are using Once Mirage, but they're setting the parameter to 0. Let's just see. I kind of just want to work on the effect a little bit because again, I'm angry that we don't have a good effect for this yet. But first I have to figure out how I broke it here. Like, why are we not seeing it here? So this is the spawner mirage that we're not seeing. Wait, why didn't I save? Save. I want a better looking terrain. There we go. All right. So we're going to recompile that. I wish more people would try even if they don't succeed. I mean, it's pretty much the best thing people can do is pick a challenging thing that should be valuable if you succeed. Like that's how you do it, bro, right? Like I don't even know what's going on here. This level has several things that's weird about it, so I kind of want to go somewhere else for a second. I mean, I do think I broke this today, but I'm not sure how. Where's the frickin' spawner, dude? I just want a spawner. The fuck? Okay, so it actually does work. It's just maybe there's something weird about that level. Okay. Not a very good effect right now. I kind of don't know why. Let's wait. 30, well, it was 30 seconds before. Who knows how long it is now? Fuck. All right. So why is this coming out gray? It doesn't come out gray in... Okay, well, actually, let me go back here. It doesn't come out gray for the mirrors, which I could show you. So, like, this was a thing I was looking at before dinner tonight. And it was taking so long to reload the shader every time. Yeah, this level, it's got something weird going on that we have to debug. I should have commented this out. Okay. Yeah, see, it's still fucking monochrome. I don't understand why this is happening. And it's hard to experiment with the shader to figure it out when it takes so long every time. What the fuck? So here is where we draw. See, we draw the mirror ones right here. It's in the same loop. So it's not like we accidentally draw it to some off-screen buffer and then cornholio, right? Um, entity color, effect color. You know, so one cleanup that we could do. One reason that entities might not look the same in the two cases, and I don't think it's true here. But it might be. But I don't think so. But like in the old days, we didn't have that many variable slots. So this effect color was a way of controlling the parameters for this special effect of the mirage effect. And that was, you know, then used by other things in the shaders. And so now we're kind of overwriting it, and that's maybe not good. it's probably an issue. In fact, we probably don't need to do that because we're setting these, right? So I feel like maybe this is not even a thing. Like, I feel like that might be, sometimes those systems get rewritten. There's old code, and people kind of don't understand it, so they leave it. Okay, well, it's still there. Like I said, it doesn't really fix the problem, but it is still on the screen. So that's something. Let's try doing that in the other place. So we're going to recompile, and then we'll go to a different level, like mirror 1. I think I'm going to take the Weissman score down because I don't think we're doing any of that tonight. Sad. Sad. All right, so okay, so here you see we have my reflected guy up there. His everything works. So this is not related to let's just do this. Okay, this is the override. Just going to put those directly in. I'm starting to get tired, folks. Let's go back to the shader. So I don't know why. Let's wait 30 seconds for this to load. I don't know why it's coming out different for the other stuff. I guess what we really should do is set up a test level. Okay. So we've got him back to a little. The whole thing was I wanted to make the noise better and do some cool stuff, and I'm just thwarted by how fucking long it takes to load shaders. So okay, this is fine. 7,000 errors. That's great. So I'm just going to use this as a sketchy level to like put some stuff on. We're going to have a mirror. Okay. And we're going to have a spawner. If I can hook these up de novo. Okay, so that was already fine. And then this crystal we're going to put here. And we're going to put one there as well. See, this one comes out shiny. It looks like the crystal lighting-wise. It's just dots. It's a 50 DKP minus. So that's pretty good at this point. This one looks like Shitburger. Why? It's like being drawn at the same time. Why do it's the same effect on the same entity type, okay? So this is a key thing about debugging is we're narrowing down what the problem could be. It's not that the material doesn't behave correctly. Maybe I'm just being stupid and we're not setting up the parameters correctly, which is why I sort of wanted to do this. Refresh entity parameters. Wait, we don't say is mirage equals true here. What? What? Could it be that simple? No, apparently. You know, I think it could be this. The output override and output effect colors. That's it. So this thing that's being drawn, it's not the same entity as this one that I'm pushing around. It is a clone of it. And it doesn't get rendered. Yeah, I should have thought of this. It doesn't get rendered normally, so its output fields don't get set. The output fields are kind of a stupid thing that I did. It's not that stupid. Hey, look, it's better, guys. That's a 50 DKP plus. Okay. I think that's enough for me to go to bed for now. We've made a material improvement in the game. I mean, we should fade it out as you step onto it or whatever, but already this just, both of these look a lot better and it makes the game nicer to play, but I wanted to make the effect even cooler, and yeah, I don't know. Let's see if we could take the W. How many thousand no check-ins did we add today? Well, we've got a bunch here. The fluid sim data is just not checked in at all. The wave, okay, so that's not relevant to anything, I think. How about in the source? Okay, shader catalog. We certainly had an incredible journey today, let me tell you that. But we made a concrete improvement, and when I get up in the morning, I'm going to email the team and say, guys, what do we do about this? And maybe they'll have been thinking about it and have a suggestion. Um, it's already much nicer than it was. Oh, the make promised. Okay. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Don't check in any of this. Dude. All right. So that's fine. Dude, let me work. Let me work. Oh, someone's been working on Skipping Pals. Oh no. We might be in for a big goddamn update. Oh no. I mean, it's fine. So while all this is going on, we're in the middle of like a big entity cleanup where we check in a bunch of, actually, I don't think that's what happened there. But like, we basically have to resave every entity in the game. But that's not what that was. I was fearing for a moment that that was what that was. But it wasn't. Thank the Lord. Okay, so we're going to check this in. I forgot to uncheck that one. Guys, life is hard. And this is where it start like subversion being fucking slow. Now, like I've suffered through that delay 3 times, right? And now we're going to do it again. 4 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 or 10 seconds. Great. Wonderful. Okay. Shape. Yeah, wardrobes we don't keep, but these level tweaks. Okay. Well, we have food for thought to talk about with the team tomorrow. You really wonder what it's doing in those 10 seconds. Well, to be fair, here's how many files there are in the folder. And I bet Windows will take more than 10 seconds. It's just a small indie game. That commit thing takes a full minute. Yeah, I mean, often I know that all my changes are in a subfolder. Like, especially if I know I'm just checking in source changes, I just go to the subfolder and check in from there, and it's a lot faster. Why does it take Windows this long to count that up? Dude, I don't know, because Microsoft. Anyway, so there's 1.5 million files. Subversion basically doubles your number of files, so we have like 750K, 770K. The final distributed game will be much smaller because this contains all the source assets and stuff. Is defragmentation still a thing? It is still a thing in the file system, but on SSDs you generally wouldn't defrag. So kind of nobody does it anymore. We check in game assets. I mean, how do you think we get 1 million files? Do you think we have 1 million source code files? Pretty sure the Windows defrag tool doesn't allow you to run on SSDs. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, the problem is SSDs wear out, right? So you kind of you place a large amount of unnecessary wear on your SSD when you do that. Maybe I just really like to program. Yeah. Yeah, it probably is Windows Defender, which of course there's no way to actually turn off, thanks Microsoft. Ugh. All right, everybody, we made some progress. We did not make as much progress as I would have liked. And I don't know what we're going to do about this problem, but we basically have to do something about it. It's brutal, dude. We have to. And I don't know what that is. And I do kind of just want to go. I don't exactly have that many free days these days, but I kind of just want to go attack the shader code and make it more understandable. Like we talked about this on the team before. Like everybody agrees, it's like a little more complicated than it actually needs to be, and it could be simpler. And I was just feeling that today. I was feeling that I would have liked it to be simpler. Deleted the Defender files in safe mode. Yeah, I should try that. You have a million lines of code. We do not have a million lines of code. Our game is a mere 250,000 lines. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming by and hearing me complain and rant and be in a bad mood. And it's all good. We'll see you next time. And we'll make it a little bit better every time. How did that raid go? I tried raiding that guy. And then right when I was leaving, I looked at his screen and he had like 8 lines of code. He had like main with 8 lines of code. It seemed like a bad raid, but I don't know. Did it turn out well? Or what happened? A rabbit hole of async and await. Oh, that's a great way to get productivity done, right? Did he actually have a program, or was it like literally nothing? Maybe we need to vet our raids more carefully. Year End is doing puzzle game dev. Let's see. Let's see if we could raid someone. Year End. That's intended for drugs, intoxication, or alcohol. Powerlifting. Okay, we'll rate him for the powerlifting. All right, thanks everybody. See you later.